What's going on, everyone?
Welcome to the Furthermore podcast.
I'm very excited to be with a very good friend and mentor of mine. Meet Marlénas, aka Really Though, aka Furthermore Ma. She is a fellow Yang Gang comedian, pharmaceutical mental health advocate. We have so much in common. Welcome, Marlénas. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Thank you for introducing me, especially as Furthermore, one of my favorite Jay-Z drops. So, you want to tell us how you got the name?
Yeah, so I got the name from you, Marlénas.
I didn't mean all that, but
No, yeah, this name, Furthermore, it's the name of this podcast.
Where did Furthermore come from?
An open mic set I did where there was a moment where I did not know what to say, and out came Furthermore. So that's what we're gonna go with.
it was so funny. It was like seamless. It was like it didn't even matter whether or not you were gonna do another joke. You were like, Furthermore, like I'm here because I found the time. You know what I mean? Like, I could be anywhere else. But since I'm here, Furthermore.
Yeah. All right, Furthermore.
So,
I think subconsciously, like, I reacted that way because in school and, like, journal clubs and science settings, like...
as a placeholder.
Those formal...
Way better than or
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, the transitions and stuff. But I remember I first met you when you had a different Twitter handle or a second Twitter handle called like Yang Gang Comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
it still exists. I made it to because, well, Andrew Yang was the comedian's choice. No mistake, So, right, we had Doug Stanhope, John Leguizamo, Hannibal Buress, Dave Chappelle, Michelle Wolf, Kathleen Madigan. It was just like Norm Macdonald, just like all over the place. You know what I mean? So then when I started Yang Gang Comedy, it's like a Twitter thing. It was just to like, honestly, just retweet comedy and comics and things that were funny. It wasn't even necessarily focused on anyone with a party line, which is funny too, because there were a couple like Bernie friends who like I was retweeting and in comedy, and I think part of them thought that I was like trying to recruit them, and I was like, no, it's just like if you put hashtag Yang Gang, we will all be behind it. Like that's, unless we're not, we are critical thinkers, you know what I mean? And one of them was like, yeah, that's actually exactly what happened. Like I got a lot of retweets from that. So, I tried to do something like that for quarantine comedy for like comedians who aren't making money, but yeah.
With Yang Gang Comedy, like that handle, like I was so excited because I was only a couple months into comedy, and I was also only a couple months into helping out with the Yang campaign. And those two things really synergized for me because Andrew Yang is the comedian.
You take synergized and get it out of the room. Synergize is not allowed on the podcast. It's yours and not mine.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is pharma. Yeah, I think I pharmified the phenomenon too much.
I'm playing with you. Sorry.
Because with Andrew Yang, like the idea behind UBI was to free up just simple mental bandwidth so us artists can express our art forms, and comedy is a big outlet, I think. And those two things went hand in hand for sure for me.
Yeah, no, he's big into the arts. Like that's also why he is such a proponent, as you said, of UBI, right? Like, was it Kyle who was one of the dudes who was given UBI, and he was like, yep, just bought that guitar I've been meaning to buy that I couldn't because of my car payment. Now I'm rocking out everywhere, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
And yeah, that's what he wants. So that's awesome. You got to talk to him within
Yeah.
the past week or two, right?
Yes, I spoke to Andrew Yang on a storytelling Zoom online event. That was very interesting because the facilitator was, well, it was two groups. One was Andrew Yang's new nonprofit called Humanity Forward, which for anyone that's listening, he's basically
Pew, 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 Humanity Forward.
so he's basically taking his Yang 2020 campaign and having it manifest in this like timeless nonprofit that endorses like congressional level, local level, Senate level candidates that sort of more or less share the same vision that he does. And then right now they're like super busy with like mini grants for COVID, folks that need it because of COVID and the economy and stuff like that. So yeah, they coordinated with a company called Dear World that does storytelling. I mean, I'm a powerhouse retweeter and just like a powerhouse like tweet reader, and
Bars.
and yeah, no, I just looked for the right things because this Dear World company I didn't really know about, and they had a storytelling session, one with like Andrew Yang's higher ups, and then after we did that, they recruited us for a storytelling session with Andrew Yang himself, and they made it very frantic, so it kind of forced us to choose stories that were very real to us, and for me that was when I was like hospitalized in 2016 for a mental health adverse reaction medication issue.
One day we're going to need a new word for brave. The right wherewithal is going to make a real comeback, I think, in 2020, right? Because there's no more, you're so brave, right? Furthermore, you had the wherewithal. Overcome your ICD-10 mitigating factors. Like, it's awesome that you did that. And he responded in true fashion, it seemed, right?
Yeah, I mean, because he, as we both know, and the Yang Gang knows, like Andrew Yang keeps it real. And if he disagrees with you, then he will express that. If he agrees with you, he will also express that. So I felt this like sense of relief that we were on the same frequency.
Thank you, Mudit.
Which is not surprising because I think like ways of thinking is mental health centric, because when you're like mental bandwidth is liberated with an economic floor, you're just that much more like free. And like the symptoms, I don't know, I just envision this like public health cascade, the public mental health of folks just marginally, gradually improving with UBI as a floor. I mean, that's what I was envisioning.
Poverty makes people crazy, right? It's also, he even tweeted it the other day, something like, desperate people are likely to do desperate things, and he knows that, like, he has a very good understanding of human nature. And he also believes that mental health is part of just health.
Yeah.
Like just health. So, which is exactly what, like, I used to, before I was medicated for the SEDS, I would get sick all the time. And then I would be judged for being sick all the time. So like the two go together, you know what I mean?
Right. And I think Andrew Yang, his vision supports quality of life. I don't know how often he's actually used that term, but the quality of life, and not like other methods.
Yeah, right. He just uses, the quality of life, right? Because he does, I mean, quality of life is for sure a measurement, right? Like the QOL is quality of life, HRQOL is health-related quality of life, which encompasses all of the things in the self-report 36 form, but we're just nerding out over here, which is one of the least reliable forms of testing, because there's no test reliability or external validity. But moving back, okay, and we're here. So right, quality of life, those are actually the hardest. This should tell you what it's like. Quality of life claims, right, in pharma advertising specifically, actually in all of science, those are the hardest to justify because they are generally by self-report. Somebody can go in and just get punched in the face and they're like, I'm at an 8, and someone can be experiencing contractions and be like, well, next to everything, I've been through like a for high, strong, for, you know what I mean? So quality of life is seen as a very difficult claim to substantiate, to support in any medical literature that you're writing, which is crazy because that's also true for real life.
Yeah.
You know, it's so difficult to be like, no, really, I'm in this amount of pain. And they're like, look at the face that is, look at the grimace face.
Right.
I think you're here tops. You know what I mean? Not like the crying sweat face.
Masks and public health today.
I saw some opinions on Twitter. I think there was this misunderstanding about masks and a focus on like personal immunity. But people are not seeing masks as a way to mitigate transmission on like a public health level from one person to another. I don't think people get that. Like, or maybe I'm not understanding like what the thought process of denying to wear a mask is.
Well, we have a few things at hand, right? On the most extreme end, COVID is a hoax. That's on the most extreme end of wrong, of the most extreme of wrong.
Right.
And we have wearing a mask is taking away our freedom, and this is the land of the free. Interesting how the land of the free has had the most incidences of a disease that can easily make you not free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless I don't know what you're doing in the grave, you know. So maybe you're free there, but then there are people who, most of the people are just uncomfortable with it. Still on the extreme side is people not being told what to do, right? And then right there, and then being people being uncomfortable with it. That's the dangerous spot where the people uncomfortable with the masks on start listening to the reasoning of the people who feel like it impedes on their freedom, because those are the people who will start like taking days off, you know, going different places, not wearing them because my freedom, you know what I mean? Instead of like, this sucks, but this is what we do. There have been people, again, on the extreme side who are like, do you know what carbon dioxide is? And do you know where it comes from? You know, so there's that. This is unhealthy for me. So then that also tips back to where our responsibility is in terms of there are a lot of immunocompromised people.
Yes, that.
So, like for me, even like I just get existentially worried walking outside into these outpots. But you know, I mostly am like, but like I think about how anxious I can be. What if somebody with COPD is outside? What if somebody chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, if you're nasty? What if somebody with any kind of respiratory illness or any illness, now that they're finding it's cardiovascular, if you have CVD, it's a wrap. You know, if you have a history of like TIA, it's a wrap. Like that's not going to be good for you. So, cardiovascular disease and transient ischemic attack, aka stroke. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
So, you know, like also just that anxiety.
Have you been doing any like Zoom shows, like comedy-wise, or what have you been doing during this lockdown, comedy-wise?
I did a couple, and then I did mostly mics. I was committed to finding out like what the tone of everything was going to be like on Zoom shows, and then I got distracted, honestly. A lot of things got hard. You know, also was making sure that I was keeping up with, at the time I had 3 jobs. So, you know, like always trying to do that. What else? Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I've done a number of Zoom shows, a handful or 2 of Zoom shows total, or whether it's Zoom or online. And I've like taken upon myself to find groups that are outside the DC, Maryland, Virginia area just to meet new faces. I personally, as a beginner, kind of like mics that are like multiple art forms. So where you have poets and musicians, writers also performing, and then comedians as
AKA
well.
mixed mics for the unaffiliated.
Oh, okay. I was always saying all-purpose mics, but mixed mics sound so much more hip and concise as
I
well.
don't know. Sounds like I feel like it's gonna be antiquated.
Mm.
I feel like it's gonna be the right. It's like, how many things did they have? Well, it was a mulatto mic. Whoa, what? How did we get? How did we get there? But yes,
Right.
mics of variety,
Ah.
MOVs. Right? You know how Trump had people sign a waiver for his rally today?
I heard about that. It was ironic because like a number of his supporters deny the virus itself, the coronavirus, but they're signing a waiver.
Oh my gosh, a dude a couple stores away was like, "Don't you know it's over?" And I was like, now as a New Yorker, anytime something leaves here and goes somewhere else, to us it is over, but not now, because it'll come back. So I think we have law students, or actually even people with their JDs and bar, who could write waivers that are like, you need to wear masks during the show. Wear masks.
Yes, definitely.
I really mean it. Like I need to learn how to use this sewing machine that I just got with the quickness. Wear masks.
And thank you. Yes.
Thank you furthermore.